stand by a second. Okay, I'm going to do a reset really quickly, so everybody just hold on. The feed is going to shut down, and then it's going to come back, and you might need to refresh the page, but just give it a second. You'll see that spinning circle for maybe 30 seconds, but if you lose chat or anything, just refresh the page. Okay, so hold on one second. Just refresh. It takes a minute. There you go. All right. So Neelix is a tabby tuxie with a classic tabby pattern. She's using Ratty for a pillow right now. He's her birthing coach. So she is having very strong contractions right now. She is in active labor. Active labor begins when the first kitten enters the birth canal. And so right now she's pushing to get that kitten out. Welcome everybody, and thank you for tuning in. This is live, uncensored reality TV for rescues. If you want to know more about our organization, you can go to tinykittens.com. We've been doing a lot of work with feral cats because they're the most underserved population of cats, and they are also one of the biggest contributors to cat overpopulation. And so we've been trying to find ways to care more compassionately for them, and also make sure they get spayed and neutered. So thank you for tuning in. If you can try to keep the chatting to a minimum so that the people that are doing closed captioning for the hearing impaired, so that those who are hearing impaired can read the closed captioning, that would be appreciated. But feel free to ask questions, and people in the chat will answer you, or I will try to answer you. Neelix has had many litters of kittens. We started working with this particular feral colony about a year ago. Well, actually it's been about 14 months ago. And we spayed and neutered about 170 of the more than 200 cats that are there. And Neelix was very skittish, very difficult for us to trap. And so we were finally able to trap her this spring and bring her in. And last year we watched her have at least 3 litters of kittens, and we never saw any of her kittens, so we don't know if they survived. But that's kind of a harsh reality of the life of a feral cat. This is also Kids Watch, so keep in mind that there are kids watching when you post things in the chat. This is one of the reasons I broadcast the birth live, is so that parents who want their kids to be able to witness the miracle of birth can witness the whole thing without letting their own cats have kittens. So it's a really good way to do that without ending up with more kittens to find homes for. So kitten number 1 has entered the birth canal. The first kitten is the most difficult for her. The first kitten gets everything going. You can see she's having very strong contractions. I am not in the room with her because she's a feral cat, and she thinks that I am a predator, and so she would be very stressed out if I was in the room. So I'm talking quietly in another room. I won't be able to intervene if something goes wrong, because it would be so stressful for her if I were to do that, that it could put all of the kittens at risk. This is the last time she ever has to go through this. It's definitely not easy for them. And if you can imagine, if she was doing this in the wild, she would have to have the babies, and then she would have to go out and hunt for food. And it's pretty cold and rainy out there right now, so she'd be leaving the babies somewhere where they would get cold, and she'd have to find something to eat, and it probably wouldn't be very nutritious. And she'd be exhausted, and this will be much easier on her, even though she's afraid of the human predator. She's at least safe, and her kittens will be safe. If you would like to know more about the work we're doing with feral cats, you can go to tinykittens.com/ferals. Or just go to tinykittens.com and click on ferals. We've learned a lot in the last 14 months, and I've been documenting the stuff I've been learning, because when we first started doing this, I couldn't find any information about how to care for pregnant or injured feral cats, and so I didn't think it was possible. And boy, was I wrong about that. So oh, there's the first baby. The sac is coming out, so we should have a first baby very soon. You guys are getting the full view here. So each kitten comes in its own individual sac filled with fluid, and then they have their own individual placenta. I totally ditched my Tiny Kittens board meeting. It started at 7. I left at like 7:02. So I'm texting them. I'm texting them the updates. So we need just a couple more really big pushes from her to get the first baby out. The feline uterus has 2 horns, and so the kittens line up along each horn, and then within each horn they're in their individual sacs with their individual placenta. So we do have one more. We have a total of 4 feral cats here. 2 have given birth already, Neelix is obviously in labor right now, and then we have one more who is pregnant and blind in one eye and going blind in the other eye. And so we knew that if she didn't come in, there was zero chance of her babies or her surviving. So that's how we ended up with 4 pregnant feral cats. And hopefully they will all have healthy babies. And then once they're old enough, they'll all be spayed and neutered and adopted into loving homes. And the moms, depends on whether the moms want to live with humans or want to go back to their friends and family in the forest. We do take care of the feral colony every day. Out there, we monitor them and we feed them, and they have great shelter, so it's not a bad life for the cats that do return to the forest. And they're actually much, much happier than being in captivity. And then the ones that are able to be socialized, we do find homes for, and we've had several really wonderful cats that started out feral, so it's pretty cool. Feral cats are very misunderstood. So we're hoping for a couple more really big pushes and she can get that first one out. I don't know yet if these guys will be going back to the forest. Ideally, although with the feral cats the plan can change minute by minute, ideally Neelix will stay with her babies till they're anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks old, and then she'll be spayed and she'll come back here and go into our feral recovery ward, which is a cage-free, low-stress environment where we have volunteer snugglers who come in and we work with them and try to assess if they're receptive to human interaction. And so we've discovered some that have been receptive to humans and have been adopted into really wonderful homes. And then we've discovered many who were very clearly not interested in human interaction, and then they've been very happy back in the forest. So you can't really predict a pregnant cat or a mama cat because she's got her hormones and she's trying to protect her babies. So it's hard to say what's going to happen with these moms. All I can say is that we're going to try and work with them and see if any of them have potential. And if not, we have to make the decision that is the most compassionate for each cat based on their individual needs. So the placenta comes out after the kitten is born. She's going to give one big push and the whole thing should come out. And I suspect that she will know exactly what to do. There are noisy people frolicking outside. Hopefully they will move along quickly. That's why we have white noise machine going in there to try to mask as many of these human sounds as possible. If they linger, I'll go out there and crazy cat lady them. Hopefully she can't hear that. Oh, now we may have a baby. There's a lot of licking going on. I can't see, but I think there's a baby out. Unfortunately, the ceiling camera is malfunctioning, so I can't. If I switch you to that, it will drive you crazy. See? Yep, there's definitely a kitten out. So she's doing exactly what she should be doing. Mystery Kitten is out. I'm gonna go give dirty looks to the noisy human. They just scampered off. I didn't even have to give them dirty looks. Okay, so there we go. Looks like maybe a tabby kitten. What she's doing is clearing the fluid and the sac from the baby and licking to stimulate the breathing. Definitely seeing some movement. She likely still has to pass the placenta, so the baby will still be attached inside of her. So they were like, we were surrounded by hooligan children scampering and shrieking. They're still out there, but hopefully they will scamper off. I'm not sure why so much shrieking is required. Now they're running back the other way. Anyway, so it is normal for a kitten to lay still during this time. We will hope to see some meowing and some movement once mommy gets a little further along in the cleaning process. See, we definitely have movement. Looks like a little tabby. So it may take her a while to push the placenta out. That's normal. It looks to me like she is working on the umbilical cord right now. The baby's definitely moving. So I think we're in good shape here. Nothing to worry about at this point. So she's working on the placenta right now. Most moms will eat the placentas, which is totally fine. In the wild, she would be very conscious about trying to eliminate anything that would smell and attract predators, and it's also a source of calories to give her energy for the birth. Not as important in this environment because she has lots of food nearby, but an instinct from her life in the wild. It's a lot of work to do to clean up a kitten. So she'll be pretty busy over there. Now at some point once the kitten is free from the placenta and the cord has been cut, the kitten will proceed toward the milk bar to have its first meal. You can see the kitten's very strong and active, which is good. So So now she's going to work on cleaning up that kitten and getting him or her dried off. And that kitten knows instinctively that it needs to nurse as soon as possible. And so he or she will probably get latched on fairly quickly. She knows exactly what she's doing. I think I see little white toesies. She is 100% feral for sure. But she has come to the feeding station somewhat regularly for the last year or so. She's always been very skittish and very deferential to the other cats there. But she's always been pregnant or nursing kittens, so she's always been trying to get in and out very quickly. If you see a little bit of blood, that's nothing to be concerned about. That's totally normal. It's just a byproduct of the umbilical cord being cut. Sometimes there's just a little bit of blood that comes with that. It's not a big deal. Very normal. What's important is that the baby is breathing and moving and appears to be a good size. Now, typically we'll have one kitten right after the other. We'll have them kind of in pairs of two. One will come from each side of each horn of the uterus, and then she'll have a little break in between. Not always, but that's usually how it goes. So I wouldn't be surprised if she starts contracting for the second kitten very soon. And in the meantime, she's going to keep cleaning up kitten number 1. Looks like a tabby tuxie. Hard to see what the pattern is when he or she is so wet, but this is her last litter of kittens that she will ever have to have. It's definitely not her first. She's had many, many, many litters of kittens. So thankfully, this is the last time she ever has to go through this. She definitely knows what she's doing, though, which is good. So if anyone is interested in learning more about what we're doing with feral cats, you can go to tinykittens.com and click on ferals, or just tinykittens.com/ferals, and oops, what's going on with my internet? Oh, I'm going to switch to a different network. Maybe not, maybe it's okay. Sometimes a cat will sort of nudge a kitten toward the milk bar, yes, but not always. Kittens have pretty good instincts. Even when they're newborn, they navigate by smell and instinct. They can't see or hear at this point, so It's amazing that they are able to find the nipples and get latched on and start eating immediately. So we also have 4 one-day-old kittens that were born to another of our feral moms yesterday morning. And then we have 3 4.5-week-old kittens who are actually behaving themselves at the moment. And then our nearly blind feral mama is going to give birth at any moment also, so I'm gonna see if I can fix that other camera. Stand by. So I put the sound on in there, so if you can't hear me, let me know. I'll switch it to the overhead cam, but that focus thing is probably going to drive you crazy. There we go, we're getting closer. Usually they will rotate around several times, so you will get to see kittens at some point without having to look at that terrible focus. There we go. There she is. So cute. So we definitely love our little rescue kittens, but only 1 in 12 kittens born ever finds a home. So that's why it's so, one of the many reasons it's so important to spay and neuter. So we're still at 1. So Neelix had at least 3 litters that we know of last year. And we tried to trap her all year, but she was very stealthy. I did trap her once, but she was clearly nursing at the time, and so you can't take them away from their babies, or the babies will not survive. So I had to release her, but I knew that we would get her again. Look at that long tail. It's so long. Holy moly. So she's been on our super high priority list for quite some time. I would say Neelix is probably around 3 years old. So she's getting a pretty good break between kitten number 1 and kitten number 2. Well, it looks like we're having contractions again for number 2. Number 2's head is actually coming out. So we're close on number 2. She's multitasking like a pro, cleaning baby number 1 while she's pushing out baby number 2. What a good mummy. So if you're just tuning in, you can find out more about our organization and what we do at tinykittens.com. If you would like to donate to support our rescue efforts, you can do so at tinykittens.com/donate with our extreme gratitude. We are a 100% volunteer-run organization, so any money that you do donate goes directly to the cats and to raising awareness about spaying and neutering and cat overpopulation and responsible pet ownership. Here we go. She's having some very hard contractions. I think baby number 2 is imminent. You can see the sac is trying to come out. We just need a couple more big pushes and we'll have number 2 out. So Neelix, as far as the color of kittens, Neelix's color is considered black. The tabby markings are a pattern, not a color, so she's black with white. So she could have black kittens, gray kittens, tabby kittens, possibly if she had a ginger baby daddy, she could have Torby kittens. So these are some big contractions. This is pretty hard work for them. But this is the last time she ever has to do this. Thank goodness. She's working hard for it. Sorry, I don't know. I feel like all of my equipment is not functioning right now. I don't know what that clicking is from the camera. Hopefully. I don't know why it's doing that. Technology always fails you at the worst possible moment. What was I doing? Oh yeah. I'm just gonna post an update on the Twitter. I hope I don't miss baby number 2. I'm guessing that baby number 1 may be latched. Oh, maybe not. It's hard for me. I can't actually view full screen because I'm trying to look at chat and the other camera angles as well. Nope, not latched. but getting close. She'll get latched just as number 2 comes out. Big push, Mama. Come on, you can do it. We need like one big push. I think we're almost there. There you go. Baby's out. I see movement for sure. Looks like a dark baby. Could be black, could be tabby. I feel like, or tux, definitely tuxy. Could be a little tuxy, like the casserole. I see muzzle puffs. I see muzzle puffs. Alright, so she's working to clear the nose and mouth. Well, she's not, but it would be nice if she was. No, she's fine. She knows what she's doing. She's clearing the sac and the fluid. There, she's getting to the face. Good girl. She knows exactly what she's doing. He has puffs. I feel like number 1 may have just gotten latched on and is clinging to the nipple. So I can't see if the placenta is out, but it looks to me like she's working on the umbilical cord right now. So far she's handling this like a pro. So color is carried on the X chromosome. And so since girl kittens have an XX and boys have an XY, girls will get one color from mom and one from dad, and boys get their color from their mom. So any boys will be either black or gray or tabby, and they could have white or not have white. Ginger boys are not going to happen with Neelix because she's the one who's passing her color along to the boys, so her boys will be either black or gray or tabby. If it's a ginger baby daddy, the girls could be bicolored. They could be tortoiseshell or torby, which is tortoiseshell plus tabby. But we're not going to see a ginger boy in this litter. But we have plenty of ginger boys to go around, don't you worry. We've got a ginger girl and a ginger boy in Sable's litter, who's Neelix's roommate. So let's see. Oh, and we're clicking again. Sorry about the clicking, I don't know why it's doing that. At least it stops sometimes. Oh, could you not hear me then? Sorry. I got distracted about how cute Maisie is being and Trudy and Bartholomew on the VIP cam. So if you have the VIP subscription, you should check them out while we're waiting for number 3 because they're so cute right now. And Bartholomew has somehow managed to not escape for like at least an hour. So that's pretty awesome. So Dr. F's at the board we had our Tiny Kittens board meeting tonight, and I ditched everyone, but Dr. Ferguson is a good board member, so she's actually at the meeting. I'm not actually on the board. I was talking to myself. So I see number 2 is getting up and running. She's doing a pretty good job of blocking the kittens from view, but I think she'll probably rotate around at some point. Here's an extreme close-up. If you're wondering what the other camera is seeing. So we did give Neelix an ultrasound when she first came in, and Dr. Ferguson thought she saw at least 3 kittens, but possibly up to 5 or so. Ultrasound is a terrible way for getting the count of how many kittens there are, but it's a really good way to make sure that they have beating hearts and are developing. And so it was very cool to see their little hearts in there. So we're expecting at least 3, but probably more than 3. She's very experienced, so I would say 5 or 6. But I'm hoping for smaller litters of healthy kittens. That's what we're hoping for. So far, Sable and Savina have each had 4. Which is manageable. We've never had this many. We've never had this much going on at Tiny Kittens HQ, so this is definitely I've been not sleeping, worrying about how things are going to go and then how we're ever going to manage to adopt all these kittens, but we're going to figure it out. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. So if you guys are an exceptional home looking for exceptional kittens, please keep us in mind in a couple of weeks. You can read our adoption info at tinykittens.com/adopt, and usually we open up the applications around 5 or 6 weeks when we have a better idea of when they'll be available. So Neelix is continuing to work very hard, keep the babies clean, try to dry them off, make sure they're stimulated. Licking them helps get the breathing going and gets them stimulated and the blood flowing and all that good stuff. So what she's doing is very good. She's doing a great job. So it looks to me like both kittens might be in good position at the milk bar. It's hard to see from this angle, but Neelix appears to be a pro so far. We're 57 minutes in here, and 2 kittens born so far. And she's been working non-stop.